Another game dominated by the use of the simple yet very powerful strategy of number advantage. Welcome everyone to the How Justice Rank 1 journey. Now, again, of course, I am fighting my opponents in lane and we are winning lane, and that is very skill based. However, the way to extend that lead as a support player, you need to start roaming and applying the numbers advantage strategy. It is one of the most powerful strategies in MOBA games in like League of Legends, Dota and Deadlock, because Deadlock is a MOBA game. What it means is having more players in a fight than the enemies. So 5v4, 3v2, 2v1, any of these situations is insanely heavily favored in your side to win, because MOBAs are math driven. They're not like Counter-Strike where you headshot somebody and he instantly dies. You can't just headshot 5 people and win the game like in Counter-Strike. No, MOBAs are math driven. You need damage, a certain amount of damage, to be able to kill your enemy. Therefore, if you bring another character into the fight and it becomes a 2v1, that means you have double the damage or double the CC or double the survivability, and purely by maths in this way you win the fight. Even if you're slightly weaker individually, numbers will help you win, because together you're stronger, you know, ape stronger together. Yeah. So ganks or going on objective fights together, or rotating faster than the enemy team into a fight, all of these things guarantee a number advantage. Although in the last example of rotations, it's a temporary number advantage, but it's still winning. Because if you rotate faster than the enemy team into a fight, that means that you can throw your abilities first and have one rotation of your damage and CC already in place, meaning you're already at a mathematical advantage over the enemy team, who is slower to rotate. Then when they come, they have to throw their abilities at you, but your abilities will be already up again and you'll be able to throw them again. So you've basically gone through 2 rotations of your abilities. So that's a win. That's already a win. So good players know how to create good runs and pick off people. They recognize these situations and opportunities very fast and act fast before it disappears. Because if you hesitate, if you say, oh wait, I'm gonna just farm this one little crate, or I'm just gonna do this one minion wave before that, it's over. That's what bad players do. You hesitated, you farmed, you arrived late, and you lost. That's simple as that. Telling you guys, the numbers advantage strategy is one of the most simple and powerful strategies that is extremely abusable if you are a support player. Now, if you aren't a support player, not playing a support character in that specific game, and for example playing something like a carry, M1 carry, this becomes a bit more difficult because you actually need to farm. Because if you farm, you fall off. But for support characters, it's not like that. Most of the time you'll be using activatable items, and your abilities also scale very well by themselves. Like, they don't need items all that much to scale. So even without farm as a support player, you are gonna be dealing good damage, good healing, and good CC. And that's why the numbers advantage strategy is insanely strong as a support player. Insanely strong. Off carries can also apply this, because they also don't need as much farm as carries do. So characters like Haze, Drifter, and others, they can roam around the map and pick off people and do the numbers advantage strategy as well. Although what they are lacking compared to support characters is good CC and good scaling on their abilities without items. Of course, you can make up for this with some activatable items. And again, the number advantage strategy, it relies not so much on you solo carrying the game. It's more about you as a team being there together and simply outnumbering the enemy team in all objectives or fights and stuff like that. So if you see more teammates than the enemies nearby, obviously go aggressive. If you see fewer teammates than the enemies, obviously back off. This is applied a bit easier in League of Legends right now, for example, because you have wards in there. You have wards and paylights as well. So these two things allow you to be able to know very well how many of the enemy team are next to you on the map. While in Deadlock, it's much more high skill based because you don't have wards. You don't have these items that can help you know how many people are on the on the same field of the map as you are. And players can use vantage points such as rooftops and hide behind walls and stuff like that to be able to hide their numbers and catch you by surprise. Deadlock is by far the more skill-based game right now, in my opinion, in terms of mechanics and macro compared to League of Legends. I don't know about Dota because I've only played Dota when it was a Warcraft 3 map, and that was a long time ago. And to be fair, if I gotta be honest, any MOBA game is more complex and more high skill based than League of Legends. League of Legends is just, I'm gonna say it's just playing a baby's game right now, in my opinion. But yeah, and it's not even that fun. Deadlock, on the other hand, it challenges you both mechanically and macro wise. So I think that's something that Dota nor League of Legends can do. Usually there are one or two champions, let's say, in League of Legends and Dota who are actually mechanically hard to play. But in Deadlock, every character is mechanically hard to play because the movement part of it makes up so much of every fight, the movement part. And moving is crucial and at the same time a skill that needs honing in Deadlock. It's not like right clicking with your mouse in League of Legends or Deadlock or the Dota, I mean. In Deadlock, moving is actually a very high skill So yeah, now on the topic, if you want to climb fast, numbers advantage strategy is what you should be thinking about every game, especially as a support player, but not only, because if you just sit and farm as a M1 carry and your team gets non-stop repeatedly ganked and they all die again and again and again and again, well, it's game over. It doesn't matter how much you farm as an M1 carry. If your whole team is behind and they have no chance in a team fight against the enemy team, you're done. You can't carry the whole game just by farming. It's impossible. So you gotta be thinking about staying close to your teammates, even as a M1 carry. If you see them going somewhere, you gotta just go farm close to them, or go farm with them, or go with them together on that lane. Because if the enemy team abuses this simple but powerful strategy of number advantage, they'll win every fight. And once they start winning every fight, they start snowballing. And once they start snowballing, that will earn them more souls than you can ever farm on your own. And even if you farm a lot, your team's still gonna be behind. So yeah, one man can't defeat 6 of the enemy team. And if your team is just so demoralized and so behind on items and souls compared to their team, then it's just GG. It's just GG. You can't do anything with all that farm you've done. So numbers advantage is absolutely key. Now this video is almost over, so I'm just gonna let the music play so you can enjoy the last few minutes of us absolutely deleting the enemy team. In most cases using the numbers advantage. You can clearly see how a lot of these fights are either 2v3, 1v3, 4v3 and stuff like that. It's never fair. I never allow a fair fight in my games, especially as support. The laning phase, yeah, sure, that's fair. 2v2 all the time. And that's very skill based. You gotta move, you gotta poke, you gotta manage the wave. That's skill based. After that, as a support player especially, always look to make every fight on the map extremely unfair for the enemy team. 3v2s, 2v1s, 4v3s, always unfair as much as possible. Even 4v2s, 6v3s, as fair as impossible, as fair as it is impossible, make it as unfair, really. So, because that just guarantees your win. That guarantees your win. It's never fun to lose, at least in my opinion. I don't know. I might be weird. I don't know. But I don't like losing. I know people. I know friends of mine. They don't mind losing. They're gonna pick the most dog shit hero, play it on the most dog shit lane, and just... I don't know. I don't know what they find as I really don't know what they find interesting about doing that. They just lose every game, and yeah, they just lose every game, and they're okay with that somehow. Me, I like to win. I like to win, and the laning phase, I'm fine with it being fair, skill-based 2v2. That's fun. I like skill-based fighting. I like it. That's why I'm in Deadlock. That's why I like Deadlock more than League of Legends and Dota. But I also like winning. So after the laning phase is over, just make every fight as unfair as possible for the enemy team and win yourself the game. Simple as that. Now let the music roll, enjoy the last few 2-3 minutes of the video, and just go and stomp your own games using this insane strategy of number advantage.